Alright, YouTube, what's going on? Before I start the video, just in case anyone wondering why my hair looks kind of shiny or wet, it's because I just took a shower not too long ago, but that's besides the point. I just want to get on here today and discuss a YouTuber that I have mentioned maybe like a little bit few and far in between in some like prior videos on this channel before. But I kind of want to get on here and address an issue surrounding this YouTuber. And it isn't like a big issue. It's not like this YouTuber did anything wrong or did anything like fucked up or anything like that. It's not that. It's just more of a constructive criticism that I want to point out about this YouTuber. And this is actually a YouTuber that Steven and I watch quite a bit, actually. The actual Justice Warrior. And basically, Steven and I, we've been watching him for a while. You know, that there's some things that the actual Justice Warrior, I mean, his name is Sean, so that's his first name. But basically, yeah, he says a lot of things that I agree with, and then there's some things I don't necessarily agree with him on. I mean, I have some different political views than him, I think, as far as like the left versus the right kind of goes, but it really more just has to do with, like, I like his content. So I watch a lot of his videos because he actually talks a lot about criminal justice issues, because that's actually what he studied in. And it's actually very interesting to me because he actually makes a lot of good videos, and he's a good commentator, and he's a very smart person. So I enjoy his videos. I don't care about his political views necessarily, because it doesn't matter to me. If I watch a YouTuber, I like their content, I'm not going to sit there and, if they have a different view than me, I'm not going to fucking watch them. It's like, no, I don't believe in that. I don't think that way whatsoever. So, and again, this is not an attack on Sean or anything like that. It really isn't. Like, this video, honestly, is not an attack on him or anything like that. And I'm not telling others to go attack him either. And this isn't meant to sway his opinion. This isn't meant to sway anyone's opinion for that matter. But there's certain things that he does say that I don't necessarily agree with. So, for example, certain things... Okay, so let's just... Okay, first of all, he has made a lot of videos on the Young Turks, which I absolutely agree with, because even as someone who's center-left, I cannot stand the Young Turks much anymore. I really do not like a lot of the things that they say. Their commentary on Syria, their commentary on so many things is fucking retarded. They basically do a lot of outrage kind of things. Like I really don't like them anymore. Like, I was a fan of them at one point, admittedly. I'm really not that much anymore, especially after the whole Jimmy Dore thing. I'm more of a Jimmy Dore guy, but I also do kind of like secular talk, although sometimes Kyle does make some not so great comments and whatnot. So some things Kyle says I don't necessarily agree with either. I still watch him from time to time. I lean more with Jimmy Dore on the issues, but that's besides the point. But Sean has actually made videos on the Kyle Kalinske versus Jimmy Dore thing, and that's what I wanted to bring up today. Basically, Sean was acting like, yeah, Kyle kind of definitely goofed on the issue of defending, who's he going to defend, TYT or Jimmy Dore? And he went back and forth about the whole thing that Kyle made a video on, and it wasn't so great because he was kind of shilling for TYT a little bit and omitting incidences where Anna Kasparian of TYT was blackmailing Jimmy Dore after he left, after some fucking joke and all that good shit. So then the ship was sinking for him, and Kyle actually is no longer part of the TYT network, and they fucking hate him now, and I guess Jimmy Dore doesn't like Kyle now, so Kyle kind of shot himself in the foot, and Sean was right about this. But what I don't agree with him on is when he uses the expression, the anti-American left or the blame America crowd. Like, I don't agree with that terminology, okay? Because by that logic, that's what I would be called. And I'm not that way. Because when I sit there and I get on here all the time and I talk about the faults of American foreign policy and the fucking Cuba embargo and how this leader's shitty, this one is shitty, and blah blah fucking blah, okay, and all that type of stuff. Jimmy Dore is talking about this issue, that issue. So like when Sean kind of lumps these people together and acts like they're like anti-American or they hate America or they're like things like that, I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is because we're not blaming America necessarily for the thing. Yeah, we're blaming America's fucking policy. Like, for example, about the Cuba embargo. Sean made a video on Kyle Kalinski's take on the Cuba embargo, and he's just like, oh yeah, Kyle's blaming America, just blaming America, not mentioning this and that about Cuba or the sanctions on Venezuela. Oh, he's just blaming America first, we're blaming America. It's like, I don't agree with that, dude. Like, I don't agree with that because we're not anti-American. We're not blaming America. We're faulting the foreign policy of the U.S. in the Latin America and Caribbean region. Because the U.S. has a very, very bad, exceptionally bad record of undermining democratically elected governments in South America and in the Caribbean and putting in puppet dictators. And it's fucked up. We did this in Argentina. For example, we actually fucked around with Argentina in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then led their economy to fucking crash in 2001, leading to a surge in anti-American sentiment in Argentina. I mean, anti-American sentiment was very high in Argentina, especially during the Bush years, although it kind of died off under Obama, probably surged again under Trump, but I don't think it's as bad now, but that's a whole nother story. So we have not a very good record in that region. The Cuba embargo harms the Cuban people more than their government does. And the sanctions on Venezuela affect the people of Venezuela more than the government. That's what we're trying to say. That's what people in my crowd like to say, because it's the truth. It's actually the truth, because those sanctions block food and medicine from getting into those countries. And then some people argue, it's only against luxurious goods and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not necessarily true, because we're stifling trade on these countries, and then we sit there and get all fucking pissy when European countries and Canada are trading with Cuba and all these other places. Like, we're trying to sit there and play empire and act like an empire and try to point the fingers at countries and this country and that country when they're sitting there trading with Cuba. Meanwhile, the U.S. was fucking palling around with Jair Bolsonaro. You all know how I feel about that motherfucker. But that's not really the point. The point is, it's not anti-American. It's not blame America when we say this foreign policy is wrong. This foreign policy we don't agree with. This is causing more harm to the people of these countries than the government itself. That's my constructive criticism I'm giving Sean, and a little bit of advice. It's just like, it's not really that way, bro, and I don't agree with that, because we're not blaming America. We're not anti-American. Like, I'm not. I'm American. I'm obviously born and raised as an American. Okay, I don't hate my country. I love my country. I do. I have respect for my country, but I fucking hate our foreign policy. Our foreign policy is fucking garbage, and it has been for multiple generations. It has been. It was somewhat okay. Under Jimmy Carter. Even like Jimmy Carter was good, and then like JFK had a good foreign policy. So did Jimmy Carter. So didn't like JFK and Jimmy Carter. Obama to some extent, but even Obama was like kind of fucky on foreign policy too. But I mean, no one was worse on our fucking foreign policy than Bush and Trump. But that's a whole nother story. But it really just comes down to, we're not blaming America. We're not blaming this. We're blaming the policy. We don't agree with the policy of sanctioning Cuba and sanctioning Venezuela. Because number one, they're not our fucking business. Venezuela and Cuba they have no bearing or impact on the U.S. or our citizens, or really anybody for that matter. It really has no bearing on us whatsoever. We're just sanctioning them because, number one, we don't like them for geopolitical reasons. Because we're going to sit there and support other dictators like Jair Bolsonaro and like the Saudi goat fuckers and the apartheids in the fucking apartheid state in Israel and shit like that, and supporting Central Asian dictatorships and supporting African dictatorships and other right-wing dictatorships. But when it's a left-wing dictatorship, we don't like them. We don't like them because they're left-wing. If they're authoritarian left, we don't like them. If they're right-wing authoritarian, then, oh, they're rah, 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 they're our fucking allies. We're allies in the war on terror and blah, 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 blah. You know, so it's hypocrisy. And this is why so many people around the world don't take American foreign policy seriously, because it's a joke. It's really a joke. So no, Sean, with all due respect, I still like you as a YouTuber. I still like you as a person. I think you're one cool guy. If I saw you in the streets, I would want to fist bump you. I'd want to fucking sit down and have a beer with you, have a bite to eat with you, or I would talk to you, hang out with you, all that type of stuff, because you seem like a good guy. You really are. You are a good guy. You make a lot of good content. You are a very intelligent person. But certain things when it comes to like views on foreign policy or economics in some instances, I don't necessarily agree with. Like, I don't agree with certain things. And this is just a constructive criticism I'm giving you, that people like me or Jimmy Dore or Kyle Kalinske, we're not blaming America, we're blaming the policy itself. We're not blaming America as a country. We're blaming the leaders who carry out and facilitate these shitty policies. You see what I'm saying? So that really what it comes down to. So no, I like Sean. Like I said, if I saw him, I'd love to talk with him, hang out with him, all that type of stuff. I even hop on his streams every once in a while, and I'm sitting there giving him support left and right, all that. I'm saying, yeah, Sean, I agree with this. And if I don't agree, I say this, that, and the other thing. Sean has actually responded to a lot of, I've even donated to Sean a few times before because I like his content, even though I may not agree with a lot of his political leanings, but I like him as a person, and I like a lot of things that he puts out there because he's an entertaining guy. He actually makes a lot of worthy content. But this notion that, oh, like the left is anti-American in itself. You know who makes arguments like that, honestly? Fucking idiots like Dave Rubin. People like Dave Rubin and people like Dinesh D'Souza and Glenn Beck and the fucking Fox News crowd and idiots like that. And the Bushes and people like that. Those are the people that make those kinds of arguments. That say, oh, if you criticize American foreign policy, you must hate America. You are unpatriotic and stuff like that. It's like, it's not an agreeable thing because it's not true. Okay, and like Sean is free to think what he wants, but I'm just saying this is me speaking. I'm not trying to talk down to Sean. I'm not trying to talk down to anyone. All I'm saying is that this is just a constructive criticism I want to give to Sean and to say on some of his fans, to say that like this is how I feel as a fan of his. That I feel as a fan of his. And I'll even say that about Stick, Sex, and Hammer. There's a lot of things he says that I don't agree with. But I still watch his content because I think he's hilarious and I think he makes good content. So Sean's a good guy. Sticks is a good guy. So even if I don't agree with them, I'll speak out. I'll say I don't agree with them. Like, for example, Sticks was making a video that Evo Morales was a dictator. He was a socialist and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I don't agree. He was actually, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Sorry, but I still watch Sticks' content because I still like them and what they put out there. So no, this is just a constructive criticism that I'm giving Sean, to a lesser extent Sticks, and I'm just kind of giving to those people in general. So that's really all I want to say. I'm still going to watch Sean. I promote him. I think he's a good guy. Definitely, if you're interested in criminal justice, or if you kind of lean more to like the right side like Sean does, then yeah, I encourage you to watch his channel. Or even no matter what side of the icon you're on, I encourage you to watch his channel because he makes a lot of good stuff. He really does. Stick, Sex, and Hammer 666 as well. So anyway, this is just, like I said, this is just a constructive criticism. No disrespect intended to Sean. If Sean hypothetically comes across this video, no disrespect intended whatsoever. None whatsoever. None to his fans. Nobody. It's all well and good. It's just an agree to disagree kind of thing, and I kind of just wanted to put it out there because it was something that was kind of close to my heart, and I just wanted to take the time to make it today. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here because I got some other stuff to do this afternoon. I like to relax after doing my 2 double shifts this weekend, which was absolutely exhausting. So I'm going to go relax a little more and then head out and maybe go for a walk and just get some time to myself, which is a nice feeling. So anyway, thank you all for listening, and I'll be back with more videos and a whole bunch of other stuff in the works. Stay tuned to find out more videos on the way. I'll probably do some more streaming later this week. A new episode of Zach's Legal Lessons will be coming out again soon. Stay tuned for that and more stuff in the works. And I'll see you all again soon. And I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye for now. Peace out and have a good day.